What is up, guys? At IKEA31 here. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, America's officially unofficial, official national holiday. And on Super Bowl Sunday, bringing you a Madden Draft Champions game. Appropriate enough, I'm using the Carolina Panthers playbook on both offense and defense. Got the Ron Rivera card. Unfortunately, I could not draft, or there was no Cam Newton available to draft. Luck of the draft champions draw. So whatever, you can't have everything. But anyhow, I'm going to talk about the recent Madden Draft Championship tournament, as well as some Super Bowl odds and ends, how I think the game is going to play out, and all that good stuff. So make yourself comfy, grab yourself your favorite snack, your favorite beverage, opinionate in the comments section, enjoy the gameplay, and let's have at it. First, let's start with the draft championship tournament. Now, first off, I got to admit, I got to confess, I found it bizarrely compelling viewing. And I know I'm not alone because in my online CFM group me chats, we were all watching it as well. And on Twitter, a lot of you guys are watching it also. And first of all, I found the tactics and the play styles and the gameplay as a result of those tactics and play styles, circus like, repulsive, vomit inducing. But what are you going to do? You have 21-year-old kids. You have college students, you have teenage kids, 20-year-old kids playing for cash. These are guys who dedicate 4, 6, 8 hours a day, every day, living with their parents, playing a video game for a living, breaking down every little nook and cranny of the game that they can work for their benefit. That's the competitive video game scene. Now, we can argue all day long back and forth whether the game should allow you to do the things that they try to do. To me, that really is a waste of time because, again, these are video games. Those things are going to exist. Madden tournament, NBA 2K tournament, NBA Live tournament, any type of freestyle type of environment, that's what you're going to find. And you're playing revisionist or just being flat out dishonest with yourself if you are trying to convince yourself and others, otherwise. I remember the All Pro Football 2K8 lobbies and the cheese that went on in there with the top lobby players. I remember NFL 2K5 online where you couldn't spy a QB, so guys would pick the Ravens, and while you're keying on Jamal Lewis, they'll just scramble with Kyle Bowler, and there's no QB spy mechanic to stop him. So let's stop with that nonsense. If you're a 2K apostle and you're viewing this and that hurts your feelings, don't take my word for it. Click on the link to the video in the description. It'll show you a guy online playing NBA 2K, my team online, and scoring all of his points with one single player. So please. Now, can you beat these people without having to resort to dark side tactics? Yeah, you can. It's harder, but you can do it. It's definitely possible. I actually enjoyed watching Serious Mo play more than the other competitors because his style was a style that made the most logical football sense. So I was kind of rooting for him for that reason and that reason alone. And I mean, and again, in a tournament environment, you got to take that with a grain of salt because they all have their tricks and their little gimmicks that they like to do. But out of the competitors, he was the one that played in a fashion that someone like myself could relate to the most. So I kind of gravitated toward being in his corner and hoping that he won the tournament. And again, viewing it from a sim gamer perspective, we were just having fun with it. We were laughing, we were, making jokes and just taking it for what it was. I mean, it's not our environment. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know what's there. One of the misconceptions about quote unquote sim gamers is that we can't hang with the guys who do the tournament freestyle exploit stuff. We know that stuff. We just choose to play in a different environment where we don't have to worry about it. I mean, someone like myself who's been playing Madden for 20 plus years, you honestly think that someone like that is not going to know the cheese that's in the game and how to deal with it? They would have stopped playing a long time ago if they didn't. Now, some of the stuff that they come up with is a headache to deal with. I mean, stopping inside zone in and of itself is not difficult. Stopping four verts is not difficult in and of itself, or Z spot. But when you're doing things like coming out in a formation where you can run inside zone, audible to four verts with 3 million hot routes, or come out in a Z spot and be able to audible to inside zone, or audible to four verts with 3 million hot routes, or run your Z spot with that unmumpable corner or unmumpable post. Combine that with 3,000 hot routes. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And that's mostly what these guys do, different variations of that. And whoever's able to do it better than the other guy usually ends up winning. But, again, that's the tournament scene. You're going to see that all the time in a tournament environment. And if you're going to be honest, it was very successful. Something like 20,000 viewers were in the Twitch chat during that stream. That's crazy. This game is a behemoth. It's a runaway train that you're not going to stop. You guys on Twitter tweeting save 65 every day and groveling for 2K to make another game every single day, tweeting Roger Goodell. You can do that if you want, but the world's moving on without you. The game has its own segment on the NFL Network. Current and former NFL players are highlighting the game and breaking the game down. EA and the NFL have a very happy partnership with each other. And they're making each other a lot of money. And it's going to be very difficult for anyone else to break through, let alone chip away at that. So that's that. Now, on to the Super Bowl. Broncos, Panthers, Cam, Peyton, the new face of the league MVP, the league's best player, the guy who's ascending, entering his prime against good old Peyton Manning, riding off into the sunset. And we're really coming to the end of that Brady, Manning, Breeze era. You got Big Ben, who still has some prime years left. Phillip Rivers, I put him in that category, even though he doesn't have the postseason success. Aaron Rodgers, he certainly has some years left to be heard from, but we're kind of coming out of that old guard, and you have guys like Cam entering their prime years, Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson. They're either, at that peak level and have won a championship like Russell Wilson, have the potential to, like Cam today, and are still, ascending to that level like Andrew Luck is. And Cam, I've become a big fan. I've said this before. He's developed into a type of QB we've never seen before, between his physical stature, the things on the field that his physical stature allows him to do, his athletic talents, the intangibles. He's just become the total package, and so much credit I give that guy to what he's become. They've got the best player, they've got the better team, but I don't think they're this runaway juggernaut. They're not the 84 Niners, they're not the 85 Bears, or the 91 Redskins. What they are is extremely well balanced between both sides of the ball with what they do. But there are areas where Denver can attack them. I think Denver's best chance is try to attack them downfield, and especially attack their safeties. Put stress on their safeties down the field and in space. And for the love of God, Demaryius Thomas, can you show up, please? I don't know how this guy caught 116 passes. This guy has been on the back of a milk carton for a while now. He has not shown up in weeks. I mean, he's got to come to play. He's got to rise to the occasion. That's Denver's best chance. I don't know if Peyton can physically do that anymore, but they've got to take shots down the field. The Panthers are extremely stout up front on the front seven, and if Thomas Davis is able to do anything at all, it's not going to be easy. I know he's playing with a broken arm, but still. And they're able to generate pressure with the front four as well without having to rely on being blitz heavy. So they can just rush four, have Kuechly roam. He's got absurd range and can squeeze off underneath routes as well for pick sixes. That you don't want to see if you're a Broncos person. I can absolutely see an INT going the other way for the Panthers this game, or Ginn breaking a return, something along those lines. Denver's defense has a completely different challenge than they had last week. New England did not present any threat of the running game. Entirely different animal this week with a power spread based running game. Not only get to deal with a better offensive line, a more physical offensive line, but you have the QB run threat and play action off of that. Before you can get to the point where you can tee off with Ware and Miller, you gotta get second and third and long. Denver has to win first down. That's one of the biggest cliches in all of football, but it's absolutely imperative for them to be playing in second and 8 and not second and 5, second and 6. If that's happening all night, they're dead. They're the best defensive team in the league for a reason, but they're going to have to attack this in a different way. In the AFC title game, they blitzed Brady maybe 15% of the time. They're going to have to take more risks this time around because the team is much more balanced and the line is much better. I think they're going to have to get a little bit more exotic, bring some pressure, and get Carolina playing behind the line of scrimmage. If they can do that, they have a chance because even though they keep on doing it every week, I still want to see those wide receivers beat quality corners all game long. I still have my doubts. It's still Ted Ginn, it's still Devin Funchess and Jericho Cotry out there. Greg Olson's a nice player, but I want to see Ginn and Funchess beat Talib and Harris on a consistent basis. And the only way you can do that is if you get Carolina in those situations where they have to throw the ball downfield. If Cam gets rolling on the QB run game, either designed or option game, and then they start breaking out play action off of that stuff, it's good night. It's all over. It's going to be a blowout. If Peyton is forced to throw underneath into tight windows, a pick six by somebody, whether it be Kuechly or somebody else, is inevitable. They're going to have to push the ball downfield, and they're going to have to be able to run the ball enough to keep them honest. It's not going to be easy to move them. I don't think Denver can move that defensive front and pop off, those chunks of yardage that we usually see out of them from time to time. But they're going to have to do enough so that Peyton doesn't have to carry the entire game. He just can't do it anymore at that level. He can't win the game by himself anymore. Those days are long gone. But I don't think they can do it. I think it's too much. And I think the Panthers are going to win by anywhere between 10 to 14 points. 27-14, 24-14, something along those lines is how I see this game going, unless Denver's able to do the things that I stated, but it's just too much to account for, I think, this year. I think everything has kind of aligned into a Cam Newton year, and they're going to close a deal. So that's what I think. Hope you guys enjoy. Talk to you all later. Peace.